This is a production of the AJ Podcast Network.
All right, we are back again. I can relate to that podcast. We just got me and the Baxx here in the AJ Podcast Studios.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's going on? How you doing?
Man, everything's going pretty good, man, for me. I can't complain. I'm here. I'm alive. Every day above ground is a good day. So
That's that Pitbull song.
Yeah, man. I'm pretty sure we could always find something to be upset with, but I'm here, man. So
yes.
I'm not gonna complain.
Yes. So this is our first episode back since we had the DC Glenn on our podcast. Man, we got
it's been forever.
Well, yeah. Well, we took we had our little summer break. I know Amory's not with us tonight, so we'll just get that out there. I need that adrenaline. Hello, loud that
we need that. We missing that energy. Like somebody has to be the energetic one. I feel like we missing that without her.
I know. She says it's so loud that blows the microphones and the sound drops on her end.
Wow.
But so Amory, you're here in spirit. But hopefully she'll be back on the next episode, or maybe she'll surprise us and just pop into the line that we're connected in. So, who knows?
We'll see. We'll see.
Man, we got a lot of great feedback from that DC Glenn interview. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, man. Because you know what, it was a lot of education. So if you really listened to it and you paid attention to it, you learned something from it.
Oh, absolutely. It wasn't a typical interview. For those who just joining in, we interviewed DC Glenn from Whoop, There It Is. I got copyright permission to play his song and all that stuff, but I don't know if I could play his song. But that song, Whoop, There It Is, Whoop, There It Is. That song? Yes. So yeah, he was on our show, and it wasn't a typical interview. It was more of an educational. It was really cool how he, his life experiences and what he's been going through. Did he say he did everything himself? Everything from his own bookkeeping to his own bookings and all that stuff?
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
That means we got a lot of work to do, man. I got a lot of learning to do. And he sent me that book. I did get a chance to crack it open and stuff like that, but I'm going through a crazy transition right now, so I just need to get to a place of peace to where I could really focus on that.
Was it a book or a video? Did he send?
So what it was is like a course. It's an online course, and there's different things in it. There's literature, and there's also videos in it too as well. So it's very intense, and it has a lot of different pages to it. So you got to really have the time and the dedication to do that. So right now I'm doing so many things right now. Like I know last podcast when he was on, he said the Forex is too fast, but I got into the Forex, man, foreign exchange. So I'm like, you know what? Well, why not? Why not get into foreign exchange?
Right.
Why not try to give it a shot? Because there's people that's making buku money on Forex and crypto and all type of stuff like that. So I wanted to give it a shot. He's making the music. I make the music too, but I need to write a hit song, and I feel like I got a few hit songs, but I just got to get them. I got to get the exposure. So I'm doing so much at one time, man. It's crazy.
Oh, I know. It's never ending. I mean, even stuff going on in my life. I mean, it's not as fancy as putting a single out and all that stuff. Just typical daily life between work and the kids and the family, the house, and as I mentioned on the last show, we took a little hiatus, just because I know Amory did something with her daughter with her gymnastics, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was something with gymnastics, and she went out of town for a while. I went out of town. I actually took a vacation. I haven't taken a vacation since like 2019, so we actually rented a RV.
An RV.
An RV, a motorhome, the ones that you drive. Yes. So remember you were talking about we were living off the land, and I said, I'm going to have my RV. Yeah. Well, that was February or something like that? It was several episodes ago. I mean, for those who don't know, are new to our show, catch up on our old episodes. I mean, there's a lot of good content. We had DC Glenn on for 2 episodes. We had Jawan Haynes on for 2 episodes. And we had 1 episode. Was it 2 episodes with Christopher Brian Roach from Kevin Can Wait on CBS? I think it was
yeah.
So I mean, just 6 episodes of celebrities coming on their show, and man, we're getting some good content. But anyway, yeah, we were talking about living off the land, and I was like, I'm gonna live off the land in my RV. And you know what? A light bulb went off my head. I like to go on cruises, but it's been so long since I got on a cruise, and as everybody knows, ships are not really running right now, or they're about to start up, but like middle of the summer. So I was like, you know what? Let me go rent an RV. So how that worked out. So I put some time off in for work, and I finally, I was like, all right, cool. So we got a really good rate. Okay. I rented through Cruise America. You heard about that company. They're an RV rental company. Okay. It's like Hertz Rent-A-Car. Well, in this case, they rent out RVs. And so I rented out the RV. I put my reservation in, and we were supposed to go up to Georgia. And we were supposed to go up to Tennessee to see some family members that also who has an RV themselves, and just take like a family vacation. Well, fast forward as time goes on, my wife also put vacation time in as well. This is back in February before we made our reservations, and they never approved my wife for vacation. So, yeah. So what happened was like 2 weeks before departure, we were ready to, obviously getting ready and all that stuff. My wife texts me, says, "We got a problem." I was like, what now? What happened? She says, "I was denied vacation." I was like, "You got to be freaking I was pissed. I was like, really? I mean, why wait? Why wait 2 weeks before departure and you deny an employee vacation? And since we put the vacation in February. So she went up the higher up in the chains, and apparently they didn't have enough staffing coverage or some garbage because people don't want to work right now because they rather collect on unemployment and all that stuff and make more money staying at home. I guess I don't know. Whatever the situation is, they couldn't get the positions filled for coverages for my wife and for the whole company, anyways. So I said to my wife, I says, "All right, well, let's it is what it is at this point." I mean, after a couple of days of cooling down, I was like, all right, it is what it is right now. Let's make the best of it. So do you want to cancel the trip? Do you want to modify our trip? Do you want to, what do you want to do? And let's just modify the trip. So we were supposed to go to Georgia, Tennessee, and then we were supposed to go to St. Augustine. And I'm a beach person. I'm a beach bum. I like to sit on the beach and just watch the waves go by. I won't go swimming in the ocean. I won't go in the water, but I like to sit there and just watch, people watch and, and relax. So we wanted to go to St. Augustine, and I said, let's just keep our trip just to St. Augustine, and we'll leave like that following Friday instead of, renting the motorhome from, the week earlier, because we were going to have it from a Friday all the way to a Monday. So it was like 10 nights or something like that. And then next thing you know, I started modifying our reservations, and I had to cancel Georgia and Tennessee, and we lost out on the deposits because of, it was just too much. It was not too much. It was, I guess it was too close to the reservation, I guess. So you couldn't cancel and all that stuff, or otherwise you lose your deposits. Well, that was the case for us. So I was already pissed off about that because, how much I like my money and not to lose it. So so I was like, all right, let's just go to St. Augustine. So I called Cruise America, and I was like, hey, listen, something happened, and we can't rent it from the Friday all the way to the following weekend. Can we just modify it? He says, oh yeah, we could modify it. I was like, all right, great, cool, let's do it. So she punches in the computer, and you hear the tapping in the background, sort of like reminds me of Meet the Parents. Or was it Meet the Fockers? So I think it was Meet the Parents. Remember the lady in the airport going, 5 billion times on the computer, trying to find, oh, no flight for you, That's what I hear on the phone. I'm sitting there like, man, what is she doing over there? She says, oh, there'll be a new rating. There'll be a different rate. I was like, okay. I mean, I rented, back in February. So I was like, all right, let's see what the rate was. She says, all right, hit the enter key. She says, all right, so I got you in for picking up on a Friday and then returning it on a Monday. I said, all right, cool. That's 4 nights. No problem. She says it was going to be close to $300 a night. I was like, I freaked out. I lost it on her. I feel bad for the lady at Cruise America. I apologize, but I freaked out. I was like, I paid $95 a night originally, but I guess with the COVID-19 crap going on, people are now resorting to RVs. So with that being said, I bought in or reserved just in time before the rates went up. So it was actually, let me put it this way, it was actually cheaper to rent the RV and keep it in my driveway for a week before we would leave to go to St. Augustine. It was cheaper to do it that way than rent it for $300 a night for 4 nights. I mean, it was a no-brainer. So I was like, you know what, we'll just keep the reservation and we'll work around it. So I did a little more brainstorming, and the next thing you know, I was like, well, let's stay local. Why do we have to go up to Georgia or Tennessee and all that stuff? Let's just stay local. There's a lot of great parks here, and you've been down here in Tampa a few times, and there's a lot of good parks. The beaches are right here, as you well know, Baxx. And so I was like, all right, well, let me just talk to my wife, and maybe she should commute instead of coming home every night. Let's just, come home to the RV, over at the parks where we're going to be. So I did some research, and I couldn't find anything like really local, like Fort DeSoto. You know where Fort DeSoto is? It's down like off of St. Pete Beach.
Yeah, I've seen it before. I drove by it before.
Yeah, it's really, really pretty. I think it's owned by the state. It's a state park, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, so they have a RV, a campsite there with all the hookups and, the sewage, the electricity, water, and all that good stuff. And I couldn't get into there because they were already full. And apparently this place gets full real quick. So I ended up making a phone call over to my brother, and I was like, hey, because he has an RV, and hey, by some chance, do you know a place? He says, yeah, try out this place. And I'm going to give this place a plug because it was unbelievable. It was a place called Cabana Club Resort. And they're over in Auburndale. So it's roughly about 60 miles from the downtown Tampa area, approximately 60 miles. So I was like, oh, okay, it's a brand new. I mean, it was only open for a few months at that time. And then I went to their website and I made my reservation. If so happens, it was like, at this point, it was already like 12 or 13 days out before we would have checked in. They had some spots open and we jumped right in. We made our reservation. And then I said to my wife, do you want to commute that? Do you want to spend the hour and a half on the road? She said, yeah, that's fine. I'll do that. So she ended up going back and forth to work every single morning while I was with the kids, hanging out in the RV. So, and that was fun. And then we ended up going to St. Augustine that Friday, and then my wife met up with me in the evening time after she got off work. So it took her like 3 hours, about three and a half hours to get from Tampa all the way up to St. Augustine. And then we were on the beach.
Question: did she ride in the RV with you guys, or did she?
No, unfortunately, she didn't. She didn't ride in the RV. We had her car because she had to commute to work every day. So I wanted to share the experience with her because that was the whole point. It's like, what's the point of bringing your own car besides having a car? I want to talk about car rentals, by the way. Let me finish the story here. And then I was. She had to commute, she already had a car. So, she didn't get the experience to being inside the RV with all the things clanging around and, with the dog in the back, and at the kitchen table per se. My kids were on their iPads. I'll tell you one thing, my kids were glued to that damn iPad almost a whole week. Jeez. They were so glued to that. But, yeah, so we get to the RV resort. We just had a blast. It was very relaxing. We sat by the pool all week long. I took the kids to Legoland, and I wasn't overly impressed with Legoland. I don't know. It's either my kids are a little too old for it. I felt like a lot of the stuff was not working, meaning some of the rides were not open. They were closed, like down for maintenance or just whatever. So I just felt it wasn't, for the amount of money we paid, I think it was almost $100 per person. It was the three of us, $300 for, we were there only for about 4 or 5 hours or something like that. That's, to me, it wasn't that worth it. I guess I'm like used to like Disney or Busch Gardens or something like that here in Tampa. Busch Gardens is here in Tampa, and I'm just used to the cleanliness and everything all nice and neat, and everything's working, all the rides are open, and all that stuff. And it wasn't because of COVID. It was down for maintenance because they actually had some employees standing by the entrance saying, "Yep, sorry, the machines are down, the ride is down for whatever reason," and that was it. So So we went that, and we just kids play by the pool. And then we ended up just going up to St. Augustine and went to the beach, and just very relaxing. It was nice to get away until this is where the problem starts. Yeah, let me do this. Ready? Here we go. There we go. Yep, there you go. So we were on the way home, and I-4 from, if anybody knows I-4 is stretches from Tampa, and it goes all the way out to Daytona. It's a nice drive, but you hit a lot of traffic in the Orlando area. I-4 was never this bad. Now I-4 is just it's almost a parking lot through these major towns. You know, when you get out to Plant City, there's always traffic. Then you get out to Orlando, the downtown Orlando exits, and then it starts getting, a little backed up around Daytona. So it's not like the old-fashioned I-4, you could speed through it within, an hour and a half, 2 hours from one side of the state to the other side of the state. So I just, we go out on that Sunday that we're headed home, and we were, I was using my Google Maps, and I knew where I was going, but I like to have Google Maps up just in case something comes up or we have to take a detour or whatever the situation is. So my Google Maps was rerouting me to another exit, to like a country road. And I was like, what the world is... No, I want to take I-4. And especially when you're driving a motorhome, it's 35 feet long, and you're about 13 and a half feet tall. I don't want to drive down country roads. I don't know what the road's like. You got to worry about the size of the vehicle. You got to worry about the height, with the trees and all that stuff. It's not like driving a car. So, so I'm saying to myself, what in the world is going on here? So I looked at the Google Maps. I got a little closer to the map. I zoomed in, and I was like, oh, I-4 is closed from after Daytona. There's a little town called Deltona, and over in Sanford area, and there was closed for like 2 exits. Something was going wrong. It must have been a major accident. I don't think it was construction. I think it was major accident, because I checked in the evening time after we got home. It was back open again. But so Google Maps started taking us through these country roads. And of course, it rained. It rained from Daytona all the way into Bushnell. Now, Bushnell is just north of the Tampa Bay area, like 2 counties north of here. It rained. It poured. It was so bad that, I couldn't even see in front of me. That's how bad the rain was. So we get home. Okay, great. We unloaded the RV. My family helped me out unloading the RV and got everything put away. And the RV had to be returned the next morning. No problem. It had to be all the way down in Ruskin. And Ruskin's about an hour and 10 minutes away from this front door here, from where I'm at. And so I get there. I made sure the RV was in mint condition. It was in mint condition. We microband everything. We sprayed everything down. We wiped. I think this RV was in better shape than it was when we rented it. Okay. I made sure all the poop tanks, the gray and the black tanks, were empty. Cruise America required you to fill up, the vehicle with gas, but that's obvious. You do that with any type of rental vehicle. And then obviously the poop tanks had to be all emptied out, which I get. Okay. And the water tank, and the water tank is like 45, 50 gallons. I drained that son of a bitch out. I didn't want to drive around, because when we were going to these RV resorts, they had water hookups. So with water being in the RV, why am I going to drive around with almost 50 gallons of water times 8 pounds? What is that? 400, 500 pounds worth of water. I didn't want to drive around with the extra weight, so I drained those tanks out. There's a valve that you could drain it out, all that crap. I learned so much about RVs thanks to YouTube. So the motorhome was in pristine condition. Okay, it was beautiful, and it smelled good too. So we get to the RV dealership. This is where the shit started happening. We get to the RV right before I get there. I got gas for the RV just to top it off. Okay, and we get to the RV dealership. There's 3 motorhomes that showed up at the same time. And I pulled up. Okay, yeah, no problem. Same time. It's not a big deal. Yeah, I get it. So, Baxx, I'm going to send you a picture, okay? I want you to describe this picture to me, okay? I'm sending it over via text in our group chat. So, Amory's probably sitting there. Amory's probably sitting there right now. Like, what in the world are you talking about? But yes, did you get the text message? Describe what you see in this picture. The suspense is coming, Baxx.
All right. So I'm looking at a tank that says full.
Okay. Yes. So you're looking at the gas gauge, right?
Yeah, it says full on the gas gauge.
Full on the gas gauge. Where is the needle? The little the orange needle. Where is the needle?
It's like on top of the line, but it's like on the line though.
It was on the line where it says F, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Cruise America. Now, Cruise America, I'm not bashing Cruise America, but I am a little upset with the actual local franchise. Apparently, I guess they either franchise or they're dealers. I don't know where you pick up and drop off. It's obviously not a Cruise America dealership, but because they have other businesses there. I think this particular place over in Tampa was a RV repair shop type deal. So I guess, along with their business, they rent out the Cruise America motorhomes. So they charged me $38 because that needle was not exactly on that white line below the orange needle.
So they basically want you to fill the gas tank up until you can't fill it up anymore. So they want you to hit a click.
That's what I did. I let it click 3 times. I was like, well, how much more gas can I really put in there? And I was only about 1.5 miles, 2 miles away from the RV return dealership place, the franchise, whatever they're called. Yeah. So it wasn't like I sucked down all that gas. It just clicked and that was it. Yeah. They charged me $38 because the needle showed a little bit of white, which you could see a little bit of white underneath the needle. It seriously.
Did you see that in the contract anywhere where that was an issue?
Okay.
Because that's a full tank. I don't know any place that would have
given
crazy over that.
Okay.
You would have went to a regular rental car place. They wouldn't have did that to you.
Yes. They gave us something in the instruction list, but they said the needle has to be past the orange line. There is no orange line. They're white lines. So I don't know exactly what they were talking about. But number two, not all vehicles. This motorhome had almost like 59,000 miles on it, 59,000 miles. It was a 2019. It was a fairly brand new motorhome. And sometimes, the needles don't typically read 100%. I could have been on a little bit on an incline. I could have been, it's so many different variables. And I put over 500 miles on this motorhome. It's not like I took it off their lot and brought it back to them, with like no mileage and never put gas in it. Of course I put gas in it. Obviously I driven over 500 miles. I used a whole tank of gas. It was like a 55-gallon tank in that RV. So they charged me $38 because it wasn't on the F. Okay. I was a little angry about that. And then, the poop tanks? Well, they wanted me to drive down the road and I could not do it on the premises. They wanted me to drive down the road with the tanks and the cap open. They didn't. I showed up there with the cap closed and the valves closed. And I know the thing is empty because I emptied it myself. There's, they could open it up right there, but they said they weren't allowed to. It's against the law. What do you mean it's against the law? I think it's more of against the law to drive your freaking motorhome down the highway with your gray and black tanks open with poop in it. I mean, really? There's got to be some sort of environmental issue. I have an issue with that. I am not going to be disrespectful to other drivers and people on motorcycles driving along behind my motorhome and, and the vibration pushes out any remnants in the black tank and then splatting onto a motorcyclist or somebody's windshield. That's just disgusting.
Somebody in a convertible.
Or somebody in a convertible. You never know. So they charged me $50. $50 because I didn't drive onto the lot with the valves opened. Now, the little kid that works at the Tampa the Tampa dealership for Cruise America, and now again, I'm not bashing Cruise America, okay? I am very upset because the local franchise could have said to me, "Hey, listen, I have 3 other motorhomes right behind you," which was the truth. Get off the property. Come back, wait in line again, and maybe go to the gas station and maybe try to top it off. Or could have said, hey, get off the property, top it off with gas down the street at the gas station. Maybe you could try to push it past the F and open up your tanks. The kid, I was standing next to him when he was doing the inspection. and did not say a word to me. Did not say a word. I mean, where's customer service these days? I mean, these folks, yeah, I understand they're there to make money, but they're also, let's do it honestly. Let's do it practically. Why do you have to sit there and start nickel and diming your customers? Don't be nickel and diming your customers. I can understand if I just dropped the motorhome off and left the tanks full of poop and gray water, shower water, whatever. And I driven 500 miles and I came back, under the F. Why do you got to nitpick everything? The right thing to do is to make things right and say, hey, listen, I'm going to have to charge you this fee. Can you make it right? I'll give you a second chance. And I still had time on the meter the time the RV would have had to be officially returned before it's considered quote unquote late. So, Cruise America, you're a good outfit. I think the company itself is good. They have decent rigs. But your local franchises are a little subpar to my liking.
Did you reach out to them?
So, yes, I sure did. And one other thing as well. One other thing before I go on. These local franchises are so money hungry. Okay. When I made my reservation back in February, when I spoke to the rental agent on the telephone, I was like, listen, I know you guys charge to use your trailer hitch, but will you charge to use the trailer hitch for a bike rack? Because I brought the kids' bikes along. Okay. So brought the bikes along, and I have a 4 bicycle trailer hitch bike rack, so you connect to a trailer hitch. And Cruise America customer service rep says, nope, you don't get charged, no problem. So about a week before I was going to be picking up the RV, the Cruise America local franchise over in Tampa called me and said, yep, we want to set an appointment for you. We got a lot of RVs going out. Yeah, I said, no problem. I work with you and all that. I'm getting off at this time, and I'll be there by that time. And all that was, she was a nice lady on the phone. And then and I said to her, I said, listen, I do have a bicycle rack. I was told that I would need to bring the bicycle rack because they keep it locked. And I get it, because they charge $25 a day to use the trailer hitch, because I get it. Because if you pull like a car, for example, yeah, you're putting extra wear and tear on the transmission and the motor. I get it, okay? But when Cruise America said to me, it says, if it doesn't have wheels, you're not going to get charged $25 a day. I was on the phone arguing back and forth with the gentleman on the phone. I was like, I'm not getting charged $25 a day to use a trailer hitch for a bike rack. So fortunately, I spoke to a manager over in Orlando. I had his phone number because we had an issue with our original reservation. It was a nice guy. He was based in Orlando. He oversees all the locations, I guess, in Florida or something like that. And he says, yeah, that's incorrect. You should not be charged. I will reach out to the local franchise or dealership, whatever they're called, and I'll tell them and all that stuff. I was like, okay, great. So he texted me back and said, yeah, it's all good. I called over there. I spoke to the manager or the Cruise America rep over at the local franchise, and I said, listen, did he call you? Yes, you're not going to get charged. And it's just leaving a bad taste in my mouth, leaving a nasty ass taste in my mouth that you got to nickel and dime your customers. I understand if I'm using the trailer hitch to pull a car, I get it. But for a freaking bike rack, really? $25 a day, and we had it for 10 nights. What is that? An extra $250 to bring my 2 kids' bikes. I might as well just buy a bike at Walmart for $39.99 and $69.99 and throw it away into the dumpster after we're done, because it was cheaper to do it that way. So
yeah, I agree.
It just felt like it was being nickeled and dimed. So getting back to the Cruise America, we were just bickering back and forth with the rep. I was just ready to blow up. I even told my wife walks in and said, what's the matter? I said, babe, take this stuff, because I had my cell phone charger or something like that. I had some paperwork. I says, please take this. I'm going to lose it right now. Lose it right now. My wife walks out. She didn't want to be there. And I was respectable, but I was up to the point. I was being very firm and like, why you got to nickel and dime me on everything? I drove 500 miles. Why do you have to like nickel and dime me for the gas tank? Because it wasn't past the white line on the F was not covered. And of course she's like, oh, you gave you your homework paper and it says it's got to be past the orange line. Well, there's no orange line. It was a white line. So if you want to be that technical about it, fine. But anyways, they answer your question, Baxx. She basically I did speak to the manager again, and apparently this particular manager does not handle billing disputes. So I have to get in touch with their consumer relations department, and it's anywhere from a 15 to 30-day wait for them to contact you, which I think is a bunch of garbage. I mean, like, really? It's only done via email. You can't do it over the phone. So that's my take with Cruise America. The trip itself was fine. It was just the nickel and dime. It's actually, you know what's up to the point now, Baxx? It's the principle of the whole thing. Because the RV cost us a pretty penny to rent, but start nickel and diming me because the valves weren't open. I could certainly open the valves right there and prove to you the damn tanks are empty. Or just say to me, hey, pull off the property and come right back and pull the valves open. Not even say a word to me. Not even saying a freaking word to me. The only way I found out about this is because I was looking at the final bill and I was looking, what are all these charges for? The gas charge, the dumping fee. I was like, it was almost $100 by the time they started tacking on these fees. And God forbid, they're not going to, there's nothing to drain. So that's easy $50 profit. Are they really going to top it off with gasoline to make it to their liking? I highly doubt it. So they just made an extra, $40. There's almost $190 right there, plus tax tag and title and fees. But you know what? It left a bad taste in my mouth. You don't nickel and dime your customers because, hey, guess what, guys? I got a microphone. I got a freaking microphone, and I'm going to start talking about my experiences.
And you should hashtag them so we could blow this thing up and they can hear about how they treat people.
Well, I'll be more than happy to send this podcast over to the reps. I'll be more than happy.
Or what we can do is you can go to their reviews and comment on their reviews and tell them, like, listen to my podcast.
Absolutely. I would certainly do that. So as soon as I get the show published,
I'm going to review this company.
Well, you know what? I also did do a Cruise America YouTube video on just a tour of the RV. It was about an hour and 14 minutes. And I went over every single part about the RV because, so I'm just going to let the manager know. I'm just giving him the link to our show. And I said, listen to our show. And I told him this afternoon when I did via text, because he couldn't really help me out with the billing. Maybe it's the truth, maybe it's not. I don't know. But he says, I really can't help you on it. But, we did have a decent conversation back and forth. And he is helping me out with another thing because we got another trip planned in a couple more months. So he's going to help me out.
So overall, your experience with the company, right? Mm-hmm. How was it living in the RV, though?
Okay. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Did it feel like
you were living off the land or were you cheating?
Oh, it was cheating beyond belief. I mean, my frying pan was right there. My chewable ice maker was in the RV. I had an air fryer with me. I had the, sink and all that stuff, So, my frying pan, so everything was there. So, yes, it was cheating. But it was nice to wake up in the morning, and the RV resort was really nice. The Cabana Club over in Auburndale, whoever has an RV, please, give the Cabana Club some props. I mean, give them some love. It's a brand new RV resort. Let me put it this way. I said this in my YouTube video, Baxx. I said that this the RV park experience, I am taken for life now. So my expectations for RV parks is through the freaking roof. And I was talking to somebody about it, and he says, no, Cabana Club is just the exception. There's very few of these type of resorts out there. So anywhere else you're going to go, it's going to be a much lower expectation, a little more rundown, a lot of, it won't have all the amenities like, the water slide, a nice resort style pool. This place had a tiki bar type thing. It had gas fire pits type thing out in the common area. They had a mini golf course. They had kids activities. They had food trucks. I mean, it was a really great experience over at the Cabana Club. They actually, you could also, if you don't have an RV, you could also rent a little cottage. So they're called a Cabana Club and RV Resort and Cottages. So do a Google search for it. It was really a cool place to hang out there, and I think I was relaxed. I wasn't pressured to do anything. I just, watch the kids just have a good time. And, being shut down all last year, it was nice to get away and take yourself out of life for a little while and just enjoy life, spend time with the kids. It's been a stressful year. I'm sure everybody's been stressed out. So it was nice to get away. So, but, answer your question, back to your original question. Yeah, it was a little tight. I do have to say, for a family of 4, you're in a 35-foot, RV. But when you think about it, Baxx, have you ever been on a cruise?
I haven't been for like days, but I went on one for like some hours, I think.
Okay, so a cruise, like Carnival Cruise, Royal Caribbean, wherever. But apparently, these staterooms are so small. It's like being in a stateroom in an RV. It's because that size. It's probably about 100. By 130 square feet, it is tight. It did rain one day really, really, really hard, and we were in the RV. Fortunately, I brought my little TV with us. They do a cable and all that stuff, so you could plug in and watch TV. So the kids watched the movie, and actually, you know what I did, Baxx? Something I do not do.
What's that? Talk to me.
I took a nap. I took a nap. I'd never taken a nap before. I took a nap. But it was, the rain was drizzling on top of the RV, and it was like, it was relaxing, but it was fun. I would certainly do it again. I mean, I still love cruises, don't get me wrong, and it's going to be probably a while before I would go on one, but yeah. So that was my fun experience with Cruise America. Now, Cruise America themselves, a good company. They have good, decent equipment, at least from my experience. Their motorhomes are good. I do recommend Cruise America if you're listening. Get steering stabilizers. Man, when those tractor trailers go flying past you, you're white knuckling that steering wheel. So, but it was one of their larger ones, the 30, 35 foot, whatever it was. I can't remember the footage, but it was one of their larger ones. But I had to white knuckle the steering wheel because it was blowing all over the road. But, but yeah, I mean, Cruise America themselves, the company itself is good, but it's the local franchise, especially the one in Tampa, Florida. In the Ruskin area, did just nickel and dime, and that's just wrong. So, all right. So I am done doing my ranting and raving about my experience. How about you? What is going on? You plan on any trips? Anything interesting in your life? How's your kids and all that stuff before we shut down the show?
Oh man, well the kids are good. They want to get ready for football this year. So really just me and the boys, man, like I am, should I say, a single man now. So I went through a transition with my lady, but it's okay. Like you ever been cool about a breakup? Like it's been so cool.
Okay.
Like deep down inside, you're not like deep down inside, like you're like, whatever. But it's like, you have to be cool just for your own sanity and for everybody else's sanity. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like going through breakups sometimes are hard for people. They can't do it. Like it holds them down. But this one for me, I feel like it's a better situation for me and her. You know what I'm saying? But so we're gonna be cool though. You know what I'm saying? But it's time to. It's been a while since I've been out here, man. You know what I'm saying? In this world, like running around, like what I'm saying. So it's like. Yeah. I don't want to go crazy, but if I go crazy, I go crazy. But I don't want to go crazy.
Yeah, but, understandable. I mean, you told me about this a while ago. I mean, it's not news to
definitely.
Me, but I feel bad for you, but I want you to be happy. So if you're happy, then I'm happy for you. I mean, nobody wants to break up, but things don't work out the way it's planned. So
yeah, it doesn't work out how it's always planned. And sometimes you just gotta be honest with yourself and sometimes people force stuff for years, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
And like you can't force stuff and you can't force it, Brody. Like sometimes you just gotta just let it go and breathe it out and exhale it out, man. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes people are just used to people, used to different situations.
Yes.
Sometimes you just gotta exhale it out and just let it go. You feel me?
Absolutely. I know. Nobody likes change. I mean, I only know a few people that, like change and all that stuff. And if you just get yourself into a routine, you think about, all the good times and, and obviously there's bad times, but more so good times, you have the great memories and, now you just got to change, a different chapter in your book now. So, yep. I mean, I wish you the best, man. I really do. I hopefully.
No, it's gonna work, Brody. It's gonna work. You feel me? Sometimes you just gotta let go and just figure it out and move forward.
Exactly.
You know, it's not like I don't have options and stuff like that, but I just want to make sure that I don't want no rebound. You feel me?
Right.
I don't want nobody to be a rebound to me. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? And I just got to make sure that I don't put nobody else in that position. You feel me? Because sometimes, a lot of times when you get out of relationships and you jump right into another one, that's what's happening is you're a rebound to a person. I mean, I'm sorry, that person that you're dealing with is a rebound to you just to fill that void. But, you know, however I move them, I'm definitely going to make sure that doesn't happen. And, you know, like there are, you know, there's always options out there for me. You know what I'm saying? Always options. And sometimes you just, you know, like you just got to figure it out and move forward.
Mm-hmm. It's just part of life, I guess. You know, but you'll bounce back and you'll be better than ever. So, I mean, you got a lot going on for you right now. You know,
yeah, so much going on for myself,
definitely,
bro. So
absolutely
I'm not really tripping.
You got your boys and you got your health and you got a roof over your head. So that's, you know, that's and your, you know, and your sanity. So, all right.
Yeah, I got my sanity.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's good. Man, you know, I know we were just talking about a couple minutes ago, well, before I did my rant about Cruise America, car rentals. Holy crap. Did you see car rentals? They're going for a crazy amount of money right now. Have you heard of it?
They're pretty high.
Yeah, exactly. They're blaming it. They're blaming it on the car shortage. So last year when the world shut down, you know, like Adamo and, you know, Hertz and Enterprise or whoever, they sold off all their fleet, you know, part of their fleet, and now they can't get the cars to replenish because that chip, you know, the microchip backlog or whatever it is, which I think is a bunch of garbage. I mean, they're just pulling excuses. I'm sure they're pulling excuses. There's got to be. I mean, it's not like the world was actually blew up. You know, yes, a lot of people died, but you know, it's not like, you know, buildings were knocked down and, you know, it's not like it was a World War III type explosion or anything like that. I mean, I don't know. I just think they're really milking this as much as they possibly can because they can't pull cars. But either way, you know, if I was like the CEO of Hertz, you know, it's like, all right, well, I understand that they had to sell their cars, but, you know, the world's going to bounce back to normal. And it's also, you know, it's funny. Remember last year when gas was like $1.50 a gallon?
Yeah.
Do you remember when the gas companies were actually complaining, like, we got no place to store this gas. We got too much gas. We're like giving it away to people. Now it's like double the price now. It's close to $3 a gallon. You know, it's like they're trying to make up from the loss last year. So what's it? So it's $1.50 more per gallon. What's a half $1.50? $1.75, right? So 75 cents. So if gas was $1.50 during the world being shut down, plus 75 cents, what is that? $2.25. So they're just basically, it's balancing out from the year prior to this year. That's how I look at it, because with the food prices going up, the inflation, they're getting, you know what? The world is getting ready for $15 an hour. That's what the whole thing is.
Yeah, I don't know about that, man. I just feel like shit is just crazy. It's just, bro, you don't know who to believe, what to believe, how to believe it. You feel me? So you just got to try to stay ahead of the curve, man.
I know, man.
Always exercise your mind and exercise your resources. You know, that's why I said I'm doing Forex. I'm my own businesses and working, and like you have to exercise your resources, because this world thing can switch up on you, and we'll be paying $90 a gallon. And then are you gonna be able to you just got to be able to compete in every arena that the world gives us, or that, you know, life gives us.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and I want to be able to compete in all the arenas. Like I want to be one of the top 8 whatever percents. Like that's what I want to do. Like
absolutely. So, and you'll get there, Baxx. You just remember who I am, okay?
Shoot, you too, bro.
Yeah, I don't know, but hey, you never know. You know what? I'm just taking one day at a time. But I was just talking to a buddy yesterday about everything going up to $15 an hour. It's like, what's that phrase? Like the dog trying to catch its tail. So basically, let's say, locally down here is a grocery store called Publix. Okay. If they're paying their bag person $15 an hour, okay, and they have a bag person, we'll say 8 or 9 of those lines, okay, at paying $15 an hour plus another employee that's going beep beep beep, doing the cash register, Okay, so they're paying $30 an hour per cashier or per line 1, 2, 3, 4, the express lane, whatever the situation is. Now, when you think about it, just take a step back. I'm sure I'm going to get hate mail. I'm sure I'm going to get people, yelling at me, cursing at me right now. But just take a step back. If you're paying that employee $15 an hour, where is that money going to come from?
Right. That's
okay.
The question.
Where is that money going to come from? Publix is not going to take a hit. They're going to jack up their prices. So with that being said, let's take a step back. It's if the prices for food, we'll use food for example, is going up to try to cover the employees for $15 an hour. Okay, I'm all for making money. Absolutely, there's nothing wrong with that. But on the flip side of it,
I'd rather keep it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather keep it too. But on the flip side of it, is a bag person at Publix worth $15 an hour? No, not really. But where is that money going to come from? The business. And where is that business going to get the money from? Us, the consumer that's coming into the store. And then with that being said, that person's making $15 an hour. They got to pay more for groceries. So the additional costs of living or the inflation has gone up. People, it's like a dog catching its tail. You'll never get ahead. Those people making $15 an hour are going to be in poverty in a few years. You know what I mean? It's just because the prices. I mean, rent. Have you seen rent gone up? It's been crazy. Rent has been going through the freaking roof. I mean, besides home prices as well, but rent. I mean, for a 2-bedroom apartment down here in Tampa, I think I read somewhere Baxx. I think it was like $1,800 a month.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It is.
Crazy.
It's ridiculous. I mean, seriously. So you're making $15 an hour. That's what times 40. That's what $600 a week. That's 6, 12, 18, 24. Roughly around $2,400 a month. And your rent is, let's say, $1,700. It's again. If you were making minimum wage, what's $10 an hour? Let's say $10 an hour. I know minimum wage is not $10 an hour. So $10 an hour times 40 hours a week. That's $400 a week. That's 4, 8, 12, $1,600 a month approximately. Then you got Uncle Sam to take money out, and you're coming home with much less than that. So when rent was cheaper, $10 an hour was a little bit doable because the rent was much cheaper. Now rent is what, $1,700? We'll say it's $1,800. When are people going to get ahead in life? It's like a dog catching its tail. It's going round and round and round and round. Yeah. I don't get it. I don't get it, but okay, whatever. But you know what? Just, do what you need to do, Baxx. Get to the top, be that part of the certain percentage. What percentage you say? The part, 8%?
Yeah, the top 8, hopefully.
The top 8, yes. Absolutely. That's an awesome goal. Get to that point.
Yeah. That's a whole nother, at least let me get in the top half.
Let me just get into the top 30%.
Yeah, this get me up there. Hey, bro, did you see the kid who from Tampa that went viral that is trying to represent himself in a murder trial?
Oh God, yeah. Did that make the national news? Did you see it up there?
It went everywhere. It's viral. His rendition in court went viral. But the crazy thing that just shut him down was him examining his son. Yeah, that was done today. Yeah, but they showed some of it where his son said, "Yeah." He said, "You stabbed me." He said, "Did I do anything to you that night?" His son said, "Yeah, you stabbed me." I said, "It's over. You might as well quit."
Yeah. So the part of the backstory, I mean, you probably a little more know about. So this guy killed his girlfriend, wife, whatever, the lady of the house, basically the mother.
Daughter.
Yeah, and the daughter. So they were that was the baby mama, and that was his daughter, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So. And then he gets arrested, and he doesn't. He fires his attorney, and he represents himself. Did you see his haircut?
Yeah. So he had wigs. Those are like really popular. They're like locks or whatever the case may be. I'm familiar with men that wear wigs and stuff like that, but it wasn't the haircut for me. It was just rendition, like, bro, first of all, you're extremely aggressive. Like, you need to calm down.
Yeah,
he
went
need
off.
to show that you can control your emotions if you are indeed innocent. But the way you were talking in that courtroom, bro, but your son wasn't lying. That little boy is not lying. Yeah, he stabbed me. He's not lying.
No, he's not. I mean, his mother and his sister's dead.
Yeah, so he need to go ahead and that's like Florida has a death penalty, right?
Yeah, it is the death penalty. Yes.
Yeah, that's like a crazy murder right there.
But I was looking at the guy's haircut. I was like, it was actually deterring my focus wasn't listening to him. My focus was like, how in the world did he do his hair from the jail cell? How did he do that? Like, are we going to take this guy seriously? I mean, he went off. I mean, he was, I can't say respectable, but he went off with like talking very loud and, getting his point across. And the judge, like looked at him and was like, holy crap, this is going to be an interesting case. But yeah.
How do you feel like he did as an outsider? Do you feel like he did good?
I don't know. Again, I don't know the details on everything else because I see it on the news, like the 5 o'clock news, the update. But, I know with today's trial, it was in court today, and the reporter was saying that the father, the guy with the wicks, I guess I learned a new haircut name today. But
yeah,
yes,
Google it. Type in Wicks hairstyle.
Wicks hairstyle. Okay.
And then see what you see, because that's just it's a. I don't know how long they've been out like that, but I know there's a rapper that always has Wicks. His name is Kodak.
There it is.
Kodak Black.
It's images of Wicks hair. So it looks like Wicks.
This is like so I think they're like big locks, dreadlocks that are locked together.
Yeah, but yeah. Wicks is it's a hairstyle. It's originating in South Florida. This hairstyle is amongst the African American of most who are Afro-Caribbean, which I never heard of that. Okay, Afro-Caribbean, and the descent that's involved in the hip hop community as well as the related somewhere in Florida.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess starts in Florida. But yeah,
it starts in Florida.
It starts in Florida. But yeah. Well, we'll have to wait and see what the finish of the trial is. But that's just so basically, the kid was saying he was trying to paint the picture to the kid, to his son, that he was being like delusional about the whole thing, and it didn't happen and all that stuff. I mean, yeah, he's trying to defend himself, but why would a kid like go into detail? It's like it's just, I don't know, but not to have an attorney. I don't know. You're writing your own death sentence right there.
What if he beats it?
If he beats that, I guarantee it. If he beats it and wins the trial, I'm sure that some sort of law firm out there, maybe Morgan and Morgan. Have you seen those Morgan and Morgan commercials? But maybe Morgan and Morgan will reach out to him and says, "Hey, do you want to be an attorney?" And I guarantee they'll push him through a law school. I have a funny feeling that will happen. If he wins the case and he was found not guilty, I'm sure it'll be a law firm out there, because that's almost like you're writing your own death sentence right there, being in the courtroom like that.
I don't know how he's gonna get past, because see, the son said he didn't see him kill the mom. He just heard the shotgun, and I think he's seen him with the shotgun.
Okay,
but he didn't actually see him kill the mother or the daughter. But the fact that he was violent that day, and the son said he stabbed me. I feel like that's enough to be like, yeah, that man did all that. If he stabbed his son and his son is okay, even though his son didn't pass away, his son didn't pass away, but the daughter passed away,
right? And
the mom passed away. So it's like, I don't think he has a chance. I'm willing to bet that he doesn't have a chance.
I don't know,
but we got and I'm willing to bet that this case is gonna be fast. It's not gonna take the jury long.
But I'm sure that. I don't know when the closing argument is going to have, but I mean, I'm not deeply following the case. Again, I'm just watching it on the news for those, little snippets, those little news packages for like a minute and a half. But I'm sure there's a lot more to the story. But it's going to be very interesting. But Morgan and Morgan will be out there. Hey, you want a job? We'll send you off to law school, because that would be amazing. If I'm not saying amazing as in good, but amazing as like, wow. I mean, you got yourself off murder alone. without an attorney or any type of legal counsel.
I mean, it happens before. I know somebody who got himself off on a murder case before.
Really?
In Syracuse, New York. Somebody that I know, a lot of my friends grew up with him. He was from a certain neighborhood, but he's still in jail for a long time. Like, he beat the murder charge. But he's still in jail for a long time. Let me see something real fast. Let me see if I can find it.
Okay.
All right, I got it. I'm going to send it over to you. Tell me what you think about this.
Okay, let's see here. At a Syracuse.com, let's see. How a Syracuse inmate won his murder trail without a lawyer. That dummy showed us, quote. All right, so Syracuse, New York. Derek Wilson turned his jail cell into his personal law office as he fought a murder charge. He crammed 17 boxes of legal documents under his desk, beneath his bed, and against the walls. He spent some time sitting at his desk, and then on his bed, paperwork he sprawled across the cot. Deputies joked that the cell was approaching as a firehead. I don't know about joking about it, but okay. When Wilson wasn't in his office, quote unquote, probably jail cell, at the Syracuse jail for the last 2 years, he was plugged into a law books library kiosk in his roughly 50-man housing unit for 8 or 9 hours a day. Evenings he placed around his rectangle gymnasium-sized pod, rehearsing his opening statements on reciting his questions for cross-examination. Interesting. So the story just goes on. And do you know much more about the story? Because it's a pretty long article here.
Yeah, basically he beat it, bro.
That's unbelievable. Hey, you know what? But, when you're in jail, that's what you're doing. I mean, it's just...
He's still in jail, though. I don't know how long he got, but he's still in jail. But he was looking at he wasn't coming home. But I think he might got a shot to come home.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he was like they consider him as a leader, gang leader, whatever the case may be. But, that's another story. But,
I guess it has something to do with the mind as well, because if you're trying to quote unquote fight for your life, you're going to do what it takes to save your life. If that's going to take you to 8-9 hours a day to watch, looking at legal stuff and cross-examining yourself and whatever else lawyers do, yeah, that's just what it's going to come down to. And hey, cool, the guy got himself off, great. Not everybody has that skill, but I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. What's the name of that trial anyway? The one that here in Tampa? Okay, it's called the Ronnie O'Neil case. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, so just Google it. First thing that came up is news about a Tampa murder 2021. No lawyer. So basically, a double murder suspect accused of stabbing his girlfriend and daughter acts his own lawyer. So his name is Ronnie O'Neil, a Florida man, decided to represent himself for a double murder. So that's something to watch. And not a flattering picture of him on the Bing.com news. But he's got his Wix haircut, I guess that's called, or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
Wix. And he's just sitting there with his mouth wide open, like like that. It's amazing how they take this picture. I mean, at least make a better picture. But anyways, yeah. So
they don't care about glamour. They want to get the craziest looking picture possible.
I guess so. By the way, Anne-Marie texted us in the middle of the show. She's got tied up doing something, so she apologized for not joining in. So hopefully she could join us in the next episode of the I Can Relate to That. www.linktree.com/AJ and Baxx, spelled AJ, A-N-D, B-A-X-X. And that will show all the links. Baxx, what's the name of your podcast?
Pastor's Home Podcast.
Starring the Dr. Stanley Russian. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that guy is amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, he's definitely amazing.
He's definitely hooking up with all the well-known people. I think he had Andre Farr on his show as recently.
Yeah, Andre Farr. Yeah, he's the man.
Yeah, he is. All right. So we're just going to close out the show, and we'll be back. I don't know when we'll be back, but we'll be back. We'll be back. So Anne-Marie will be joining us. Baxx, have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. You too, bro.
All right.
This is a production of the AJ Podcast Network.